Ako po, Agosto, bago pong buwan. May bago na ika nga pag-asa sa ating lahat as we enter a new month dito po sa ating kasaysayan ng pandemya. At kami po sa Power and Play patuloy na inyong makakasama ngayong apat umaga dito po sa Power and Play. Magandang umaga po mga kaibigan. Magandang umaga po mga kaibigan na nagbabalik po sa inyo ang inyong paboritong kasama sa almusal, ang Power and Play. Naku sabi ko nga naku, parami nga ang mga kaso, pero tayo po ay ika nga pabukas pa rin ng pabukas ang ekonomiya. Kaya po mag-iingat na lamang tayong lahat ha. Mahirap po itong ating dinadaanan, pero kailangan po nating lahat ika nga maghanap buhay. Kaya po dito po sa Power and Play, sana kahit papaano maibsan namin ang inyong mga paghihirap. Naku, marami po tayong mga talakayan na mamaya dahil espesyal ang ating pagtatanghal ngayong araw na ito. Ito po ang tinatawag nating special live coverage ng All PBA Commissioners Show dito po sa Power and Play ngayong araw pong ito. Mamaya makakasama natin ang mga nananatili na lamang. Parang hindi magandang pakinggan. Yung mga naiiwan na mga dating PBA commissioner na mga kasama ko po dyan sa PBA. Of course, kasama natin mamaya ang current PBA commissioner. Yan po espesyal na pagtatanghal. Mamaya-maya po yan. And of course, sa ating pagsisimula mamaya, ating pong pag-uusapan ang mga maiinit na balita sa larangan ng palakasan sa ating Fast Take. Alright, alam natin mga kaibigan na patuloy na nagbubukas na ang NBA. Nagsimula na. Ang gaganda ng mga laro. Kanina, nanonood ako nung Portland na kung saan nagwagi sila laban sa Memphis. Kagabi or kahapon ng umaga, nanood tayo ng yung laban ng Los Angeles. At ngayon naman ay kasalukuyan po naglalaro ang Boston at Milwaukee. Naku, talaga namang parang ramdam na ramdam mo yung pagbabalik ng buhay, pag bumalik ang basketball. At yan nga ang mensahe ng NBA. Sana naman pati sa ating mga local sports leagues ay magsimula na dahil sabi nga ng pamahalaan ngayon daw na meron ng mga areas na MGCQ, pwede na daw laruin doon ang pro sports. Pag-uusapan natin mamaya po yan. Sa ating Pulso ng Bayan, imbis na magbibigay po kami ngayon ng katanungan, kami po ay hihiling sa inyo ng inyong mga katanungan. Sa ating pong Pulso ng Bayan, kayo po ang magtanong. Ano po ang gusto niyong itanong sa mga PBA commissioners? Andito po lahat kami mamaya. Mahabang usapan ito at papayagan po namin kayo. In fact, yan po ang gusto ng aking mga kapwa commissioner na kayo ang magtanong. Marami na pong pumasok doon sa aking Twitter account. At mamaya po aming ipa-flash yan at aming tatanungin. So again, sa Pulso po ng Bayan, kayo po ang magpadala ng mga katanungan sa amin tungkol sa mga interest ninyo. Ano ba ang mga ginagawa ng commissioner pag nasa loob ng game at marami pang iba. Pag-uusapan po natin mamaya yan. Kung gusto niyo po makilahok, mag-text lamang sa 0949 691-4956. Ulitin po natin 0949-691-4956 o di kaya mag-post sa aming Facebook page Power and Play with Noli Iyala o sa Facebook page ng Radyo 5 92.3 News FM. Tsaka pala, binabati natin lahat po ng mga nakikinig sa atin sa Radyo 5 92.3, lalong-lalo na po sa Gawing Laguna. Naku, GCQ na naman kami dyan sa Laguna, sa Los Baños, sa Bae, sa Calauan, and of course sa San Pablo City. Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat. Binabati rin po natin lahat ng mga nanonood sa atin sa pamamagitan ng 1PH Channel 1 on Signal TV. Hello everyone from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. And of course, lahat po ng nanonood sa pamamagitan ng Facebook Live and ang ating live stream sa Noli Iyala YouTube channel all over the world. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Again, tuloy-tuloy po yung ating pamimigay ng ating Power and Play Padjak Project, yung ating padjak sa pagbangon, bisikleta, alay sa iyo. Last week po, medyo napahapyawan lamang natin ito dahil hindi po naubusan tayo ng oras last week, no? Pero gusto ko pong muling sabihin at i-announce yung binigyan natin ng mga bisikleta last week. Si Jillian Cabaltera ng Santa Ana, Manila, siya po ay nawalan ng trabaho ang kanyang asawa dahil sa pandemya. Online seller po siya. Tumigilig po siya ng isang bisikleta mula po sa Power and Play. At atin pong pinaunlakan, gagamitin daw po itong bisikleta sa pagdi-deliver ng kanilang mga binibenta sa ngayon para po makatipid sa transportation. Ang kanila pong sports idol ay si Manny Pacquiao at si Jason Castro. Ang isa pa po natin binigyan last week ay si Mark Louie Baliatan. Siya po ay taga Pasig City, isang nurse sa Rizal Medical Center na talaga pong hirap na hirap, naglalakad, and of course, siya po isang sa mga frontliners na gusto nating talungan. Ang kanya namang sports idol ay si James Yap, and of course, si Paul Lee. Ako, mukhang pure foods ito. Ito ang kanyang paborito, si James Yap at si Paul Lee. Alay, tuloy-tuloy po mga kaibigan, magbigay kayo ng inyong mga kuro-kuro tungkol sa bakit kailangan ninyo ng bisikleta ngayong panahon ng pandemya. I-like lamang nyo po yung aming Facebook page, mag-subscribe sa Noli Iyala YouTube channel, at sino po ang inyong sports idol. Lagyan nyo ng hashtag Power and Play Pajak at amin pong titingnan ang inyong mga kasagutan. This week, naghahanap pa po kami ng aming, ini-examine pa po namin ang mga nag-submit ng mga kanilang posts at kami po yung mag-a-announce sa susunod na Sabado. Alright? So, yan po ang ating Give Back Project, second year anniversary ng Power and Play. Alright, at this point, handang-handa na tayo, mga kapatid, dahil marami tayong gagawin ngayon, espesyal na araw sa Power and Play. Kita nyo naman, pati ang aming set ngayon, medyo iniba natin. Salamat kay Maring Dines Regner at tinulungan tayo dito sa ating set. At this point, mga kaibigan, ipasok na natin ang ating unang set of guests. Sila po ang ating makakasama sa ating Fast Take segment ng Power and Play. At sila po ay mga veteranong sports journalists, mga kaibigan nating nakasama natin nung panahon pa tayong nagko-cover, and of course ngayon, napahagi tayo muli ng sports media. Walang iba kundi ang veteran sports journalist ng Philippine Star, si Abac Cordero, at ang veteran sports caster and now writer ng ESPN, si Noel Zarate. Magandang umaga, Abac!
Good morning, Com. Good morning. Thank you for the invitation.
Ako, sa amin ang honor na makasama ka. At thank you for waking up so early in the morning. Noel, magandang umaga sa'yo.
Magandang umaga rin ko. Magandang umaga, Abac. Nice to see you guys again.
Alam nyo, last week, sinimulan namin itong tinatawag nating Fast Take sa ating programa. And ito yung ating gustong makasama ang sports media na makapagbigay ng kanilang takes. Kasi kayo ang mismong nasa gitna ng mga aksyon sa sports. So you would know what's going on in the world of sports. So, we wanted to take your very quick takes. 1 minuto lamang sa mga topics na aming ibabato sa inyo. Pero bago yan, I just want to ask you guys, ano ba? Alam natin ngayon na ang PBA binigyan na ng pahintulot mag-scrimmage. Medyo nag-delay pa ng konti. Pero ang pamahalaan, binaba na yung ibang lugar sa MGCQ. And that's really good news for professional sports dahil ngayon makakapaglaro na sila. Abac, Noel, what is your take? Sa tingin nyo ba malapit na makita natin ang PBA in action? I'll start with you muna, Noel.
Well, with all of the activity na nangyayari dito, Com, maganda nga makakausap natin yung mga commissioners mamaya, no? But I think we're very close dito. Everybody's following the guidelines naman. Yung mga nagpa-practice have really done their best to stay safe also during the pandemic. Yung tipong practice, uwi, and wala nang side trip. So it looks like we're very close. Wala pang definite, of course, but we could see the PBA back within this year.
Abac, do you think na meron pa mga balakid na napalitaan natin yung delay sa mga testing? Ano ba ang sitwasyon dyan? Do you think that pwedeng lumipat ang PBA maglaro sa isang area na hindi nasa GCQ para mapabilis pa itong prosesong ito?
Well, ang tanong pa rin naman is if the LGU would agree, Hindi naman ibig sabihin na porke lower sila is they are welcoming everybody to come in, especially PBA teams. Alam naman natin kung gaano kalaki ang involved na manpower and ano. So, well, if ipapayag sila, mas mapapabilis ang simula ng PBA.
It will be very interesting to see on developments, and of course mamaya matatanong natin si Commissioner Willie Marcial. Alright, at this point, ready na ba kayo sa Fast Take? Ito, tatlong topic lang ha, babato namin sa inyo. Ganun pabilis ito, because alam namin na kabisado naman ninyo, and of course you had your own opinions about this. We will give you a minute, there will be a timer right there. At sana lalo pang ma-enlighten ang ating mga nanonood. Alright, ang una natin tanong, may bigat ba ang unang laro ng Western Conference Elite Teams na mula sa Los Angeles, ang Lakers at Clippers na ginanap kahapon, o marami pa ba ang posibleng magbago na pagpapatuloy ng NK restart? I'll start with you, Noel. Go ahead.
Well, you know what? Nakita natin dyan, maganda nga yung laban. It went down the wire. Game winner para kay LeBron James. Pero nakita rin natin the number of turnovers sa magkabilang kupunan. Tama sinabi ni Reggie Miller, no? Their defense will be better than their offense at this stage kasi matagal nga silang natigil. But alam naman natin, these are two contenders. Wala nang titinag sa Lakers. They are the number 1 seed already in the West because they're only playing 22 games. Clippers at Denver, maglalaban pa sila dyan. But it will take some time to get into actual game shape. At nakita nga natin kahapon, sila Kawhi Leonard, sila Paul George, they did their best. Ang ganda na laro actually ni Paul George, pero iba rin yung Lakers. Those injuries are gonna have to heal really fast for the Lakers to maintain yung kanilang stranglehold on the Western Conference. At it looks like naman, given enough time, a few more games, everybody's gonna get back into game shape and we're gonna have a very exciting ending. But it's a great thing na nag-restart na ang ating NBA.
Ang tanong ulit, may bigat ba yung unang laro ng Western Conference between the Los Angeles Lakers at Los Angeles Clippers? 1 minute, Abak. Go ahead.
Well, ako ang ano ko dyan is kaya naman na itapat yan Lakers-Clippers. Tingin ko parang gusto na bigyan agad ng NBA ang mga fans ng preview of the Western Conference Finals. While there are others chasing these two seeds in the Western Conference Finals. Parang nilalatag na nila. Abangan nyo ang Western Conference Finals between the Lakers and the Clippers. Kaya ako naman, between the two, siyempre, parang sentimentally, lamangan Lakers. Madami silang papasok yung Kobe Bryant, papasok yung si LeBron. Talagang parang determinado siya. To the point na talagang he's trying his best to glue the team together na maging talagang title contender this year. Pero ang Clippers naman I think has the better material. Kumbaga sa nilulutong ulam, mas kumpleto Ricardo. Lalo na pag bumalik pa yung kumain ng chicken wings sa isang street bar. Mas talaga. Saka habang tumatagal ang laro, natural, sabi nga ni kasama Noel, these teams will only get better.
Alright. Okay. Sakto. Good na Fast Take, guys. Alam naman natin na ang Games and Amusement Board, ang isa sa mga nagtitimon para makabalik ang mga professional sports. Pero may mga ibang liga na ating kinagigiliwan na hindi pa kasapi ng GAB dahil hindi nga sila professional. Isa dyan, of course, o dalawa dyan, ay ang Philippine Superliga at yung Premier Volleyball League. So, ang tanong po natin, tama lang ba na manatiling semi-pro ang PSL at PBL? Yan ay matapos sabihin ng IATF na bukas na ang mga sports sa NGCQ areas, pero professional leagues lamang. I'll start with you, Abak. You have 1 minute. Go!
Yes, I agree. Tama, mag-stay muna sila. Huwag muna sila mag-professional. There are many reasons and it's not because of the sinasabi na ayaw nila magbayad ng sanction fees agad. Mura lang naman yan. Magkano lang naman ang sanction fee? 1,000, 2,000, isang taon na yata yun. So that's not the issue. Ang tingin ko, the real reasons why dapat sila umiwas muna sa pagiging pro is number one, their players. Mostly, madami estudyante sa PBL and sa PSL. And if these players play, if these students play in the professional league, they might lose their scholarships in their schools. So magiging problema sa mga bata yan. And number two, para on the part of the owners, Pag ginawa nilang professional yan, these players may ask for bigger salaries. Magiging problema sa budgeting nila yan. Kung tumatakbo sila ngayon as a non-professional. Pero sabi ni Gab Chairman, walang semi-pro.
Alright. Mukhang ni Abak dun sa tanong na yan. Now, again, ulitin ko yung tanong, Noel, to you ha. Tama lang ba na manatiling semi-pro lamang ang PSL at PBL bagamat ang sinasabi ng GAP, only professional leagues can begin to play? Noel, you have 1 minute. Go!
Well, you know, yung tail end na sinabi ni Abak kanina na, about Gab na sinasabi there's no such thing as semi-pro, I actually agree with that because hindi mo na, binabayaran din itong mga to. Yes, there are students, so parang lumalabas na parang racket lang nila ito. There has to be some kind of an identity already for these two leagues na sabihin lang we're professional or we're amateur. Kasi amateur, obviously hindi binabayaran. But since there are corporate entities dito, they should be able to thrive in a professional atmosphere. Pero yun na nga, pati yung GAB mismo, nalilito rin sa kanila eh. They don't know how to govern them and they don't know when to come in. Now, for them to play under a professional, yung under a professional setting, maganda nga sana kung talagang nabigay na nila yung, okay GAB, sama na kami sa inyo, tulungan nyo na kami. Especially at this point in the pandemic where not only basketball and football ang inaabangan ng tao, pati volleyball. So, they have to make a decision. Otherwise, baka mamaya hindi na natin makita volleyball for the rest of the year. So, it has come down to that for the PVL and the PSL.
Ako, personal take ko dito, hindi natin dapat gamitin ang pandemya para gumawa ng yung hasty decisions, no? Mahirap yung mga desisyon na yan. Alam naman natin din, may mga tax implications yung pagpasok as a pro league. Dahil ang PBA, of course, is under the GAP at alam natin yung pinabayaran ng PBA dyan sa Games and Amusement Board. Alright, pangatlo natin at huling fast take this morning. Ito alam natin na ang isa sa mga Olympic gold hopefuls natin ay si Yumir Marshall, yung boksingero, na ngayon ay nag-decide na maging professional at magpa-handle na sa MP o yung Manny Pacquiao Promotions. Ang tanong, makakatulong ba sa Olympic chances ni Yumir Marshall ang kanyang pagtalon sa pro ranks? Noel, you have 1 minute. Go!
Well, para dito naman kay Yumir, I'm very happy for him, na nag-decide na siya finally to take the next step sa kanyang career. Pero again, yung Olympic bid nga talaga yung iniisip natin. The training that he will be getting under MP will be helping him a lot sa kanyang bid. Of course, it's two different animals. Tandaan natin, amateur boxing and professional boxing, ibang-iba yung rules dyan, ibang-iba. Yung size pa lang ng gloves, pag-usapan din natin doon. Yung malalaking gloves na ginagamit sa amateur, maliliit, halos wala nang gloves as sinasabi nila sa professional rank. So, again, it will help him. The training will help him definitely. Pero baka mamaya, mga pa naman siya pagbalik naman niya sa ganong klaseng sistema. So, at this point, he's in a crossroads right now, itong si Yumir Marshall. But I personally wish him well in whatever it is that he wants. So, parang kung gusto niya mag-Olympics, fine. Pero kung gusto niya mag-pro, fine. Yung kung anong gusto ng bata talaga at this point in his career, should be something that he should decide on for himself.
Well, si Yumir Marshall, alam natin na malaki pa rin ang pasasalamat niya sa ABAP at patuloy na sinasabi niyang lalaban siya ng sarili niyang estilo. But of course, sabi mo nga Noel, iba ang estilo ng pro at ngayon napapasok siya sa Olympics. Again, ulitin ko ang tanong kay ABAP, tama ba o makakatulong ba sa Olympic chances ni Yumir Marshall ang kanyang pagtalon sa pro ranks? ABAP, you have 1 minute. Go!
I agree with Noel. And yes, makakatulong. Dahil ang plano ng MP Promotions kay Yumir is mag-training siya sa Los Angeles. And kumbaga sa itak, mahahasa siya ng uso sa Los Angeles. Baka maisanang pa siya kay Freddy Rose sa Wildcard Gym. At doon, makakasparing niya ang magagaling mga Latino, mga Ruso. Dito sa Pilipinas, mabibilang ko sa 5 kong daliri ang pwede niya makakasparing na magaling sa timbang niya dito sa Pilipinas. Pero pagdating sa Amerika, sa ensayo pa lang, mapapalaban na siya. Number 2, ang gusto diyan, 3 fights before the Tokyo Olympics, 4-rounder, 6-rounder. Makakatulong talaga rin sa kanya yan. Ang problema, maganda pa dito, kung doon siya mag-sparring. Before they know it, baka mamaya kinukuha na siya sparring partner nila Golovkin o nila Canelo Alvarez. Ang tanong lang is how can he keep his focus? Baka kasi ang fear ko dyan, magkaroon siya ng divided attention papunta sa Olympics and looking after his pro career.
Abak, at I'm sure marami na ngayon nag-aanalisa ng inyong mga kasagutan. Guys, ako'y nagpapasalamat for joining us this morning. Thank you for being part of Fast Take, and keep on writing. Hope to see you soon. Stay safe, partners.
Thank you, Cobb. Anytime, Cobb.
Yan po mga kaibigan, ang ating mga kaibigan, ang veteran sports journalist ng Philippine Star, si Abak Cordero, at ang veteran sportscaster, writer ng ESPN, si Noel Zarate sa Fast Take. Wow, ang daming, ang gagandang mga binanggit at binitawan yung dalawa. Yan po ang Fast Take. Binibigyan natin ng pagkakataon na makapagsalita ang ating mga sports media kung sino ang mga nasa gitna ng kwento. Sila po ang naaalam ng mga bagay-bagay na hindi natin nakikita. Sila po yung may mga inside information tungkol sa mga sports na nangyayari, yung mga nababasa natin at naisusulat nila, hindi lamang sa pahayagan kundi sa social media. Again, Fast Take, every morning yan, pag-uusapan natin the hottest news and the trending topics. Dito po sa amin sa Power and Play. Again, siya nga pala, gusto ko lamang batiin ng isang happy birthday ang ilan sa mga kaibigan natin, si Mon Kaluwag at si Jovi Castro. Mon Kaluwag, ang aking kaibigan from Florida, at si Jovi Castro, isang kaklase ko po sa Ateneo. Happy birthday. Gusto ko rin batiin ng happy birthday kahapon, si Ian Mohe at si Ruby Agustin. Happy birthday sa inyo. At advance happy birthday kay Ana Mohe and of course kay Ingrid Mendoza. Happy birthday sa susunod na linggo. Gusto ko rin pong kamustahin nga pala mga nakasama ko kahapon diyan sa aming konting kamustahan, si Mr. Joel Agbanlog ng Jerry's Grill. Magandang umaga po, sir. Thank you for always tuning in. And of course, ang ating mga kaibigan, isang kaibigan natin sa media as well, si Mr. Jera Season. Magandang umaga. Uy, si Jerry Baha, nakita ko kahapon. Kamusta? Partner Jerry, saludo kami sa iyo. Kamusta sa inyong lahat dyan? And of course, si Anthony Suntay, nakita ko rin kahapon. Tonyo, susunod sa Fast Take, dapat ikaw naman ang makakasama natin dito. Okay. Alright, at this point, I think we will take a quick break. Mag-break po kami. At sa aming pagbabalik, ito na po yung Commissioners Roundtable. Lahat po ng PBA Commissioners na naririto pa sa ating piling. Sama at pakinggan, parang ang tatanda na namin. Si Commissioner Sunny Barrios, Commissioner Chito Salud, Commissioner Chito Narvasa, and Commissioner Winnie Marshall ang sasama po ang ating mga kasama sa Power and Play sa pagbabalik po namin dito sa Radyo 5 92.3 at sa Signal TV. Hatid po sa inyo ng Big Boss Cement at ng Cherry Loop. Alright mga kaibigan, magandang umaga po muli sa inyo lahat. Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Naimbag na bigat po sa ating mga kaibigan sa Baguio City. And of course, maayong buntag sa Cebu City. Magandang umaga po naman sa lahat ng mga kasama natin dyan po sa Batangas. Kamusta po kayo lahat? Ito po ang Power and Play Special Edition. Special presentation po ngayong araw pong ito. Unang araw ng Agosto. At syempre, pag nagbubukas ang unang araw ng Agosto o ng isang buwan, kailangan espesyal. Matagal ko na pong gustong gawin itong episode nito. Pero ang hirap pong pagsama-samahin itong mga susunod natin mga kasama. Pero alam niyo po, ito po yung tagubilin sa akin nung una po akong pumasok bilang PBA Commissioner. Yan po ay tagubilin sa akin ni PBA Commissioner Leo Prieto na kahit papano dapat lagi pong nagsasama-sama ang mga commissioner ng PBA. Kaya po ngayong araw pong ito, historic, first time, magkakasama-sama po ang lahat ng mga nananatiling PBA commissioners sa kasaysayan po ng PBA. Ito po, ang ating mga kasama ngayong umagang ito, Commissioner Sunny Barrios, Commissioner Chito Salud, Commissioner Chito Narvasa, at si Commissioner Willie Marshall. Magandang umaga. Hello, Sunny, Chito, and of course, Willie.
Morning.
Good morning po. Good morning. Good morning mga commissioners.
Morning.
Everybody. Good morning.
Morning.
To all of
Good
you.
morning.
Alam nyo, nung isang araw, nag-usap-usap tayo, we had a chance to be together. Pero bago ko simulan itong round table discussion, alam naman natin kung ano pa pag-usapan natin. Ito, kwento lang ha. Sabi nga ni Commissioner Tito sa akin, Lol, hindi pwedeng 30 minutes lang yan. Kailangan buong show. Kasi sa dami ng sasabihin ng mga commissioner, mahirap pigitin. Okay? Pero ito lang ang aking unang pakiusap kay Commissioner Willie. Com Willie, baka naman pwede. Pagka nagsalita kami dito, hindi mo kami i-fine ha, kung ano man ang masabi namin.
Tingin ko lang kayong lahat suspendido.
And of course, ang pinag-uusapan dito is always seniority. But alam naman natin, Comsani is among us the most senior. Pagdating sa order of commissionership, ako yung senior. Pero pagdating naman sa pinakamatagal siguro sa PBA, baka si Willie. pero pag pinilang mo, yung panahon na siya ay nandun na sa PBA, nung tatay niya commissioner, si Commissioner Chito. And then, si Commissioner Chito Narvasa naman, of course, naging coach yan at matagal na nakasama ng PBA. So let me ask you, how difficult, let's begin with this, no? How difficult ang nag-transition from your regular self to being commissioner? And didirect ako muna kay Comsani. Comsani, alam natin that you were served under Commissioner June. You were with the PBA for a long time, and of course, many thought it was going to be an easy transition. Pero again, with you, medyo the transition took a bit of time. And how smooth was the transition from being a regular member of the staff na ngayon ikaw na yung commissioner, Comsani?
Well, hindi ganun kahirap because of my familiarity, but actually, ikaw naman ang may kasalanan, Comnoli. Kaya lang ako naging commissioner dahil umalis ka. I always refer to myself as the Panakit Butas Commissioner dahil naghahanap nga ang PBA ng permanent commissioner. No? So, nung ako na naging commissioner, medyo madali yung adjustment, lalong-lalo na nandun sa tabi ko si Com Willie na hindi ako pinabayaan, kaya napadali ang buhay natin, ika nga.
On the other hand, Com Chito, what's the pressure on you, Chito S, na you came from a family na alam naman natin, si Commissioner Rudy was a pillar of the PBA. Siya ang nagtayo ng konstitusyon. You were there. You were very familiar with the work of your father. Malaki ba ang pressure on the transition from being the son of a former commissioner to being the actual commissioner during your term?
Yes.
Ganun kasimple.
Well, Nolly, you have to remember, kayong lahat, you were part of the PBA in one capacity or another, right? Ako, I was totally an outsider. Except for my father's background in the PBA, I was not part of the PBA before I stepped in. So, not only was the work unfamiliar to me, also the people around me. So, yes, mahirap talaga yung transition.
Si Com Chito, and you were naman a member of the coaches. You were the champion coach sa PBA, and you were part of the SEAL team. You had been part of the, under ka sa iba't ibang mga commissioner. You had your peers with you, and all of a sudden, ikaw na yung bossing ng mga kasama mo, mga coaches and mga players na nakasama mo. Gaano naman kahirap yung transition na yun, Coach Chito, Com Chito?
Actually, kasalanan ni Chito Salud dyan, si Com Chito Salud at saka ni Com Willie. Kasi sabi ko, I really, how would you say this? I was hesitant. Kasi, imagine, contemporary ko lahat, barkada ko lahat yan eh. Then all of a sudden, I had to be the one to organize everything again and to keep them in place. It was difficult for me. Kasi I did, to them, I always deferred to them as my mentors also. And we shared a lot of concerns and also interest in how to keep on the interest of the PBA. Kasi lahat tayo, mahal natin ng PBA. I am a fan of the PBA. And I grew up really watching the PBA. But, it's something that I think that I accepted and I had to do. And I kept on talking and kept opening up the doors, always with the people. And the one who helped me the most talaga, there, was talaga si Com Chito Salud at si Willie. Kaya yung mga staff doon, they really hindi nila ako pinabayaan the whole time. And with the help also of the governors, they said, you have to also think about, hindi mo na ako temporary yan eh. But to me, I had a difficult time in separating myself also from them. Kasi talagang mga kaibigan ko yan, kaedad ko yan, kabarkado ko yung mga yan eh. And I always had to defer to, siyempre, iba yung may-ari, iba yung governors eh, di ba? Iba yung, lagi sila noona sa akin, they were always my bosses eh. And all of a sudden, you're with them, you're mixing them, you're planning already everything. But it was a very good experience, but I think also yan, talaga si Commissioner Chito Salud saka si Willie, hindi nila ako pinabayaan throughout lahat ng problema ko, sinulod nila ako. And I think I'm very grateful to them.
Mukha naman lahat tayo tinulungan ni Com Willie. Kaya Com Willie, ang tanong ko sa ano ba mga napulot mong mabuti at masama sa mga commissioner?
Com, katulad na sinabi ko, mga boss ko kayo eh. Sinasabi ko nung mga boss ko kayo, yung transition, katulad ni Com Sani, madali lang kasi kabisado mo na lahat yung mga staff, yung mga tao, yung mga governors. Ang mahirap lang talaga, Com, hindi ko naman inaasahan magko-commissioner ako eh. Totoo, tinanong nyo, kayong apat mismo nagtanong sa akin, gusto mo bang maging commissioner? Sinagot ko kayong apat po, hindi. Wala akong balak maging commissioner. So, nakakabigla. Nakakabigla na dati, ikaw lang yung taga-buyo. Com, ito ganito, com. Ito tayo. Ngayon, ako na yung magdidesisyon na ang swerte ko naman, nandiyan kayong apat na tumutulong sa akin.
Alam mo, napag-usapan mo yung hesitation, yung agam-agam, no? Ako personally, I had my own share ng agam-agam. In fact, I'll share you a little bit of an experience. Siguro mga 1 week before magpipilian na ng commissioner nung panahon ko, may tumawag sa akin na team owner. Hindi ko na lang sasabihin. Na sinabi sa akin, umatras na ako. Umatras na ako sa pagsali ko or yung sa listahan ng commissioner. Pero at that time, inando na yung pangalan ko eh. So sabi ko, bahala na. I just wanted to ask all of you also, was there any hesitation? Sabi nga ni Willie, meron daw hesitation siya sa pagtanggap nito. Was there any hesitation on your part nung kayo ay sinabing, ito na, lagyan na natin sa listahan si Com Chito Salud or si Com Sani? did you feel like saying, hindi, wag na lang ako. Huwag niyo na ako isama dyan. I'll begin siguro with you, Comcito Salud.
Well, I took it as a challenge, you know. I grew up with the PBA, so nakita ko talaga that maybe there could be some improvements that could be introduced with the help of our governors, our team owners, and of course the coaches and the players. And first thing I saw was originally three conferences ang PBA noon, and then we changed it to 2. I brought it back to 3 after having a survey, no? And the survey of the time was that the fans wanted 3 conferences back from the 2, and they wanted more action. So it's really up to the commissioner, no? What he sees that could be introduced in the league.
Oh, very interesting, and I think we will discuss all of that, those innovations. But let me go back to the question, Comsani, was there any hesitation nung panahon mo, nung ikaw ay bago piliin bilang commissioner?
Oo, kasi alam niyo naman, nag-retire na ako sa PBA eh. No? In fact, the truth is, nasa Amerika na ako eh. Nagsusubok na ng bagong negosyo. No? So, nung nag-communicate sa akin na actually, hindi naman nila ako gustong gawing commissioner o IC lang habang naghahanap sila ng permanenteng commissioner. No? So that was how then chairman, and by the way, he is now the current chairman, Ricky Varga, persuaded me to come back and just be the OIC for one conference, which was at that time about 4 months, I think, 3 to 4 months. No? So I said yes, pero naging 3 taon yung 3 buwan eh. So, okay naman. A pleasant experience pa rin.
Coach Chito, nervasa?
Well, alam ni Comchito ito, tsaka ni Willie. Talagang ayoko sana talaga. I really declined already. I asked him already, but pagmamahal talaga lang sabi nila talaga sa sport eh. So, sabi ko sige, because of the PBA, talaga mahal kong PBA. Mag-accede ako. I'll try to do my best. That's all I said. Pinangako ko sila because of you guys, pagmamahal sa PBA, yes. But actually, I was very, very hesitant. And I guess, alam talaga nila yan eh. Nila Willie at saka ni Comchito Salud. But I'm very grateful that experience. It was one thing that I will never forget. I thank them for that.
At the beginning of the show, I said merong nangyari sa akin na parang tagubili ni Coach Leo Prieto or Commissioner Leo Prieto. Actually, he invited me to a lunch nung ako yung na-appoint. And at that time, Coach June was there, Commissioner June, Iggy Yenko, the son of Commissioner Mariano Yenko was there. Na-miss ng Commissioner Rudy, but Chito and Commissioner Rudy invited me to lunch at that time, no? And they had very important pieces of advice to me. I wanted to ask all of the commissioners, and especially Commissioner Willie, ano ang mga tagubilin na di nyo makakalimutan na binigay sa inyo ng, I guess, people that are very important to you before you became commissioner? I'll start with you, Comchito. I guess especially from your dad, na nagbigay sa iyo ng katakot-takot na advice. Ano ang mga pinaka-importanting habilin na binigay sa iyo?
Always, he kept on telling us, be fair. No? Don't ever grant any team any favor because that team that you grant a favor to will be the first one to bite you when there's a controversy. So, just apply the rules equally to everyone. Pwedeng magalit talaga sa yung mga teams, no? But in the long run, when they see that when they review your body of work and they see that you've been fair to everyone in every controversy, then you'll be all right.
Sani?
Well, yeah, pareho kami ni Kong Chito Salud, no? Ang mentor ko, tatay din niya eh. So, siya rin ang nagbilin sa akin na unang-una, know the rules and regulations of the PBA. Kasi importante, very rules-oriented tayo eh. No? Magdi-decision tayo based on the rules. So, importante yung kumbaga product knowledge, no? Yung rules and regulations, hanggat maaari, kabisado mo. Kung hindi mo personally kabisado, you surround yourself with close-in advisors na makakatulong sa iyo sa pagdesisyon dahil sa kaalaman nila sa rules and regulations. Si Commissioner Prieto naman, katulad mo, Kong Noli, nung nahirang na akong commissioner, hindi na ako OIC lamang, he was already in sick bed, pero ang hina-hina ng boses niya, tinawagan pa niya ako para bigyan ng fatherly advice. No? Be fair. Yun ding message ni Rudy Salud sa kanyang anak na si Chito. At yung messaging nga, importante raw, lalo na sa team owners and teams in general, no? Coaches, manager. Messaging na yung decision mo as commissioner, sa puso mo at saka sa isipan mo, yun ang tamang desisyon. Hindi dahil sa may pinapaboran ka o may inilalaglag ka o nagiging personal ka. So, ika nga yun, messaging, makumbinsi mo sila na malinis ang konsyensya mo doon sa iyong desisyon.
Chito?
I think, that Comnoli, that legacy has been passed on. I think, from you to Commissioner Sani to Commissioner Chito Salud. Chito Salud was the one really who talked to me about it also. And he guided me towards that. Just be fair. And then, you know what, listen to what you really think is correct. What the truth is, find out what's behind it and what the reasons are. And then you have to decide really based on what you really believe should be done. And I think we all, as commissioners, I think we all follow that.
Kasi Willie, ano ba ang mga nakuha mong tagubilin o habilin ng mga nauna sa'yo?
Sorry po, nawala ako. Lahat ng payo nyo. Yung payo yung apat, payo ni inabuta ko si June Bernardino, halos lahat yata ng commissioner, sinabutan ko, pasensya na. Kasi pumasok ako grade 2. Grade 2 nung pumasok ako sa PBA. Lahat, yung mga bilin nyo, kasi nakikita ko yung lahat ng ginagawa nyong apat, malaking bagay na sa akin yon. Tapos, ang importante talaga, kontrolin mo yung emosyon mo, control your emotions. Pagdidesisyon, nakuha ko din kay Commissioner Rudy Salud, huwag ka muna magdesisyon agad ngayong araw na to. Matulog ka muna, pag-aralan mo muna, paggising mo, tingnan mo, iba na yung pananaw mo. Tama Tama yung sinasabi ni Rudy Salud. At yung nakikita ko sa inyong apat, kung anong ginagawa nyo, nakikita ko, kahit tatanong nyo dun sa mga staff natin na nanggaling kayo, sinasabi ko, ito ginagawa ni ito ginagawa nito. Inaano ko yung mga magagandang nakukuha ko sa inyo. Malaking bagay talaga. Advantage talaga ako sa ating 5 kasi nakasama ko kayo.
Well, alam mo, malaki din naman tulong mo sa amin Kaya naman, malaki din ang pasasalamat namin sa iyo dahil ako personally, si Willie, yan ang taga-awat ng lahat sa panahon ko So, and I think all of us also had that particular experience kay Commissioner Willie na siya talaga yung pagdating sa mga troubleshooter to Now, I want to
Yes, sisingit lang ako ng konti bago natin bitawan si Kong Willie. Yung hesitation niyang maging commissioner, siguro dapat tanungin natin siya kasi yung mga kaibigan natin sa media, alam na alam yung hesitation niya na mag-commissioner. Pero ang sabi nila, hindi magko-commissioner si Willie, sir. Bakit? Kasi ang commissioner napapalitan, ang special assistant to commissioner hindi napapalitan.
Tama. Yun isang hesitation ko. Yun isang...
Yeah.
Hindi.
Hindi na lang ako magsasalita dahil may nabanggit din siya sa akin tungkol dyan. No, but yeah, lahat tayo, I guess we were selected dahil of meron tayong mga qualifications, no? And alam naman natin yan sa ating law, and I don't think we have to trump that up. Ang aking tanong, ngayon na tumitingin na tayo, no? Nagbabalik tanaw tayo sa ating mga karanasan sa PBA. Ano yung sa tingin nyo, dapat meron akong ganitong klaseng characteristic or trait na kung meron ako noon, siguro mas maganda pa yung aking pagpapatakbo. No? Something that perhaps may have factored into certain events that happened in panahon natin sa PBA. Halimbawa ako, I guess if I was a little less sensitive, maybe I would have been able to discuss certain things little calmer with certain people. Diba? Or siguro yung ika nga dahil ako yung pinakabata na nahirang as commissioner, siguro yung youth at that time could have parlayed into, I guess, more consultation with Comsani na nung panahon na yun was really there, and of course si Com Jun Bernardino. No? So I guess from your perspective, ano yung mga traits na sana meron ako na nung panahon na ako ang commissioner? I'll start naman muna kay Peter Rabasa.
I think one thing that I think I missed was probably, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. I think I always wanted was to have sana a dialogue with the owners. Di ba, through the governors. That never happened. So that at least, I'd be more enlightened to how to where the direction they wanted to bring the league. Okay, and it's different when you talk to the owners. You can hear talaga their sentiments, no? And it gives you a different perspective of what happens. But I think other thing really, aside from that, really, is also a lot more coordination. I should have given more time probably to understanding really, visiting all of them, and asking them really, how do you see the league? There should be an assessment siguro after, if not 6 months, after every year, di ba? So it's not just like parang okay lang kasi you met your targets. But there always has to be improvement. And these inputs have to be always gathered so that every year, may bagong excitement para sa fans. I think, this one was really built for the entertainment of the fans. Diba? It provides us a lot of happiness, really, contentment, and kasiyahan talaga. Kaya and we should have, if ever given that chance, I would suggest to really listen to them, have more dialogue with them, probably every year. Yun, I think, ang kulang sa akin noong panahon ko.
Pamchito, salute.
Well, Noli, I had a completely fulfilling experience. No? That job is really taxing. Physically, mentally. Alam niyo, no? You have out-of-town games, and then you have meetings every day. You have to review games. You have to instruct your referees on a daily basis. Not only that, you have to decide on controversies 24/7. I wish I had more stamina, no? Kasi as I said, hindi lang physical, no? Mentally stressed out ka. At the end of 5 years, I was really totally fatigued. I gave it all, and I said to myself, that's it. That's my contribution to the PBA that I love, the PBA that our family loves, and let Chito Narvasa take it on. Good luck, Chito Narvasa.
Salamat mo
Pero tama yan, talagang hindi lang talagang yung stamina. Talagang, alam mo naman, Willie, yan, yung biyahe-biyahe lang natin. You have a game on a Friday, you have to leave Saturday morning. Kung may nangyari ng Friday night, na may nangyaring insidente, re-reviewin nyo pa yan. And then Saturday morning, lumilipad ka na for the out-of-town game. And then Sunday, you have to be back and may game na naman. Diba? So, I guess tama si Commissioner Tito about that. Kamsani, anong feeling mo? Something that, sana meron pa ako noon and that could have really also completed, your experience.
Maybe at that time, I'm not much of an innovator like you and Com Chito Salud. I'm more of an administrator. Kaya nung dumating ako, like I said, hindi ko naman inaasahan babalik ako sa PBA. Sa totoo lang, pinagpatuloy ko lang yung mga programang iniwan mo, Kong Noli. So, maybe that's one that I could have improved on myself during those 3 years that I was there. The other one, tama yung mga comment na importante yung stamina at saka pasyensya. Kasi na-culture shock ako talaga nung bumalik ako sa PBA kasi yung intensity, frequency ng reklamo baga sa fishing, culture shock sa akin yun kasi nung umalis ako sa PBA, hindi ganun ka-intense. Yung during the game, meron ka ng cellphone noon, during the game, makaka-receive ka ng tawag sa from the team manager. Yang si number 42 mo, commissioner, tanggalin mo na yan, bulag yan, or something. So, sabi ko, wow, ang klase itong dinatnang ko to. Kaya sabi ko kay Willie, ano ba to? Bakit naging ganito to? Sabi niya, sir, ganyan talaga na ngayon. Yan ang nakabilihan ng so. Kaya nga, yung mga sa board meeting, minsan, palitan mo si ganito. Ang sabi ko sa board nga, alam ninyo, wala akong problemang magtanggal ng referee. Ang problema kako natin, saan tayo kukuha ng pamalit? Hindi na ito simple. Diba? Kasi special craft yung pagre-referee. Hindi porket tanggalin mo kagad, sino ipapalit mo? Baka mamaya street basketball na lang tayo, honor system, kasi walang referee.
That's very interesting. Alam mo, sabi sa akin ni Commissioner Leo Prieto noon, pag may nagreklamo sa iyo, sabi niya sa akin, pag may nagreklamo sa yung team owner or coach, sabihin mo sa kanila na ako, I will run the league. Ikaw, you run your team. Sabi niya, the day that a player does not miss a free throw is the day that my referees should not miss any call. It was very clear. I remember that his statement. The day na hindi magmintis ng free throw ang inyong player is the day that your referee should not miss a call. Sabi niya sa akin. So, what he was saying is simply, everyone makes a mistake, and it's as long as it is not unintended, diba? Then it is it should be allowed, and everybody should take it. Kung may ikaw, hindi naman looking back dahil nandiyan ka ngayon. But ano sa tingin mo ang mga bagay na importante sa iyo?
Yung sinabi niyong lahat. Totoo yun. Kung Chito Narbasa, makipag-usap sa mga owners, si Com Chito Salud, talaga yung stamina, yung pati utak, at natutulog ka lang nga, napapanaginipan mo pa PBA. Honest yun. Honest. Si Com Sunny B, referees, totoo yun. Naranasan natin lahat yun. Tatawag sa inyo, okay lang na tumawag sa inyo, tatawag pa sa akin Mag-uusap pareho din naman sinasabi. Di ba? Hindi lang coaches, lahat Ultimo kulang na lang ball boy ang magreklamo sa atin. So, lahat ng sinabi nyo, tama. Ang hirap. Totoo lang, kala ng mga tao, masaya maging commissioner, Ang hirap maging commissioner.
But Nolly, you really have to listen to them, no? The coaches, the players. Kasi may makukuha ka eh. May mamimiss ka talaga doon sa mga guidelines na binibigay natin, no? When we were there in the office, Willie. You have to listen kahit na nakakasakit ng damdamin ko minsan, gaano kapalpak yung mga tawagan. Halimbawa, palpak yung tawagan. But you have to remember, coaches have the wisdom. They have seen the league from the very start, how it has developed in terms of officiating, in terms of player development. So they can make suggestions. And when you listen, you will get points from them.
Actually, tama yan, Com Chito. In fact, yung kay Com Chito Narvasa na innovation with respect to referees, yung additional referees, na naging 4 yung rotation, that's something obviously, Com Chito,
Yes.
that you got from your experience as a coach at
Yes.
sa pakikinig also from coaches, I suppose, no?
Yes, definitely. Kasi, hindi ba, all of us just want to improve, show them that, we want to be as honest as possible. Eh. Di ba? Ang talagang meron talaga tayong palpakan, but you also have to also try to help also the referees and upgrade their talents. Kasi if you don't do that, they'll never also, like when you coach, you have to tell your players what they did wrong, what they did correct, para ma-correct nila and always to keep a constant improvement. Because after those, di ba, palpak nga ito, sunod-sunod, dalawa sunod na mistake, mali naman talaga ito. Dapat paupuin mo muna. Tapos sabihan mo kung bakit siya pinalitan, anong mali niya, patikita mo sa kanya kung bakit siya nagkakamali. Tapos kausapin niya yung coach, sabihin sa akin, bakit niya ganun ang tinawag. So that the coaches can also understand them. That's why even in the court, na sinasabi namin, like si Com Willing, di ba, mag-usap sila para nagkakaintindihan. And then para pagtapos ng game, mas madali na yung assessment. Kasi mahirap talagang lalo na pag mahigpit ang game, ang hirap tanggapin pag mali ang tawag ng referee. Pati ikaw, siyempre, as commissioners, ayaw nyo mangyari yun eh. Kasi alam nyo talagang, dapat the game should be decided by the players, by the teams themselves. Hindi pwedeng technical. Diba? Pagka ganun, siguradong the next day, hindi ka makakatulog pag uwi mo na taas si Winnie. Siguro 3 araw yan, hindi ka nakakatulog. Yan ang mangyayari dyan. Bombobahin ka ng ngayon nung una, during the time niya yata, Com Nolly at saka ni Com Sani, walang mga di ba, bashers pa, wala yung mga social media. Tayo, inabot na namin yun. So any little thing na mali ang referee, takbo agad. Ako commissioner may mali dyan, o si ganito may mali dyan, o si ganito mali. It's very difficult really. Kaya tama si Com Willie. Napakahirap ngayon. Hindi mo subaybayan every single thing. So pag wala ka talagang stamina, patay ka. Patay ka talaga.
Ang kagandahan lang sa panahon ngayon, talaga ang taas na ng technological advancement. Dami ng camera, meron na kayo review, di ba? So, yun ang mga innovation na wala ako nung panahon ko.
Yes.
I don't know about Komsani, kung umabot na yung instant ngayon, Komsani. Wala pa rin, ano?
Wala pa. Dinagdagan lang namin nung panahon ko, dinagdagan lang namin yung mga camera para review sa opisina, mas maraming angulo at mas maraming action na nakukuha as opposed dun sa panahon nila Jun Bernardino ni late Commissioner Rudy Samu, nagbabase lang sila sa camera ng TV cover.
Right. Well, at least ngayon, si Com Willie ngayon, pati locker room may camera na, kaya nakikita na niya kung sino.
Pati sa bahay nyo, nakikita ko kayo kung anong ginagawa niyo.
Meron na nga siyang closed circuit dito sa Bapol. Mamaya pag-usapan natin yan. And we'll talk about the best part and the worst part of the job. Sa pagbabalik po ng Power and Play, we'll take a quick break. Babalik po ang Power and Play. Hatid sa inyo ng Big Boss Cement at ng Nagbabalik po ang Power and Play. Gusto ko pong pasalamatan muna bago tayo magpatuloy. Lahat po ng ating mga tagapagtaguyod ng Power and Play. Gusto ko pong magpasalamat sa, of course, sa Big Boss Cement. Big Boss sa tibay ni Mr. Engineer Gilbert Cruz. Maraming salamat po sa tulong ng Big Boss Cement na sumusuporta sa napakaraming mga teams at mga sports. Kung kailangan nyo po ng mga para sa inyong mga proyekto, puntahan lang po ninyo ang Big Boss Cement, Big Boss sa tibay. Gusto ko rin po magpasalamat, mga kaibigan, sa Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum ni paring Elmer. Available at all leading hardware stores. Cherry Loom, lalo-lalo na ngayon sa tag-ulan, Cherry Loom po ang inyong gamitin for your roof needs. Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum. Gusto ko rin magpasalamat, of course, Elms Resto Bar Group, home of native itik, is now open sa lahat ng kanilang mga branches sa Kapitolyo Pasig, Calle Bistro, Commonwealth Quezon City, Robinsons Novaliches, and of course sa Poblacion Makati. Ang sarap po ng mga pulutan, ang sarap ng kanilang mga take-out, yung kanilang bagong-bagong grilled bone marrow. Naku, delikado lang yan, pero napakasarap po. Elms Resto Bar and Group, tawagan lang niyo po sa 028-240-2032 para sa inyong take-out deliveries. Gusto ko rin po magpasalamat, of course, sa Joyride, ang bago niyong kasundo. Ang Joyride po ay nagdi-deliver at of course may pabili service. Where buying from your favorite shops and restaurants is now made easy. Now at our lowest prices ever, you can book all your delivery needs. And of course, we guarantee na dadating po sa inyong lugar ang inyong ibinok. Available throughout Metro Manila at sa ibang lugar ng Rizal, Cavite, Bulacan at Laguna. Download now, Joyride, and happy move and enjoy the Joyride experience. Marami din po salamat sa Maquillage Professional, ang ating official hair and makeup, Maquillage School of Makeup Artistry. Maraming salamat po sa kay Ara, ang ating official makeup artist. And of course, thank you so much also mga kaibigan sa Skin, Your Face and Body Anti-Aging Center. Uy simula po ngayong araw na ito, bukas na po ang Skin Clinic dyan po sa Wilson Street sa San Juan. Daily from 10 a.m. to 5:30. With the present COVID-19 pandemic, Skin has prepared health and safety measures for everyone's strict compliance, strictly by appointment only. No appointment, no entry, no companion allowed. For your schedule, mag-text lamang sa 0977-809-8886 o di kaya sa number natin 02-8633-3471. Yan din po kanilang para bumili kayo ng mga products nila. Thank you so much to all of our guests. At ngayon, bago tayo magpatuloy, gusto ko lang basahin yung ilang mga nagpadala na po. Kung gusto niyo po makasama sa talakayan, please text your questions sa 0949-691-4956 para kila Commissioner Sani, Commissioner Chito, dalawang Commissioner Chito, and of course, Commissioner Willie. Meron na dito mga komentaryo kay Napoleon Federer. The solution to that, meron siyang binanggit dito. Why does it seem like the term of a commissioner is open-ended? If the PBA is for the people, then why are we not involved in deciding if one must stay or be replaced and who shall be the successor? Parang gusto yata gawing election ito. Ano sabi mo dito, Kom Sani?
Yung panahon ko, I think from the founding commissioner, up to my time at least, no, I cannot speak for those that followed me. The commissioner serves at the pleasure of the board. So you can be commissioner for 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, 10 years. Ganun eh. Kaya, if I may say so, yun ang yabang ng commissioner. Habang nandun ka, you enjoy the trust and confidence of the board.
Well, totoo yan. Meron pa mga katanungan na pumasok na dito, but mamaya-maya siguro natin papasahin itong mga katanungan dito sa pulso. Tingnan natin yung iba na nagbigay na sa atin. Ito, good morning po, Con Noli. Ask ko lang po, ilang taon po ba ang kontrata ng pagiging commissioner? Sino po ang pinakamatagal na naging commissioner bukod kay Commissioner Prieto? Andy Esmenda mula ng SMACO Cubao. From what I know, pinakamatagal si Commissioner June Bernardino. But Kung Willie, ano daw ang term ng commissioner?
As of daw, nag-ano na yung mga governors na 3 years. 3 years na ang commissionership. So, pero ganun pa rin. Kung trust and confidence ng mga governors, maski na naka 3 years ka din, kung may ginawa ka namang alangan, hindi maganda sa liga, pwede ka pa rin nila tanggalin.
Ito, may tanong dito. Good morning, Sir Noli. Nice po ko pong itanong kung open daw ang mga bisitang commissioner sa pagdadagdag muli ng mga team sa PBA natin noong panahon ni Commissioner Chito Salud na nagkaroon tayo ng expansion. Kung Chito, do you think it's again time or sa tingin mo ba nakakabuti itong expansion ng PBA?
To have an expansion, that means the league is thriving. I don't see it right now. Maybe the league needs more time to make sure that the 3 additional teams that we added back in 2013 or 2014, but I don't remember now, garner enough clout and fans. No, at this time, I think we have the perfect number. Com Willie has the perfect conferences and formats for these members. But if there are newcomers right now, it's really up to the board. No, anytime you have a party that's interested to come in, magandang sinyalis yan for the league. But at this time, just keep it as it is.
Well, mamaya, malalaman natin talaga. I totally agree with Com Chito on that. No? Na mukhang this is not the time. Lalong-lalo sa panahon ng pandemya, no? It's a very difficult time to be coming into the league and making those innovations. Napaka uncertain ng ating mga panahon. But let me just go back to our flow of things here, mga commissioner. Many people have been asking, of course, this is a dream job, of course, ang pagiging commissioner. Sino pa naman ang hindi may gusto niya? Nakatabi mo, mga superstars ng basketball, get involved in the landscape of the sport that all Filipinos love. And of course, you are also given, the treatment na hindi lahat ng tao ay nakakakuha. It's a very exclusive club, ang PBA commissioners. Only 10 sa history ng PBA in more than 40 years. So I guess let me ask you, Com Chito Narvasa, what was the best part of the job and what was the worst part of the job?
I think the best part really is being able to help develop the league and then to be associated with the coaches, your contemporaries, and then the fans. You see that they're very satisfied the way things are. Well, the hardest part also is if they perceive that you make a mistake, and then all the bashing. But that's part of it. It's like being a coach. You being a coach, you're getting as a coach, like you said, the only thing you're waiting for is to get fired. That's part of it. It's performance-based. And I think as long as you're able to do well, you'll be there. And you have the trust and confidence. But like you said, you're given a different kind of treatment. And it's something that you should be able to experience and share also. I've learned a lot, And I thank all the coaches who helped me also out there. Diba? Si Leyeng, si Tim, si Norman, si Al Francis. These people have helped me a lot there. And also how to treat also the players and development of the league. They've guided me. And also how to improve the rules also. So it's a privilege to be able to have done that for the PBA. Because it's something that, like you said, only a few may be able to do. It's a privilege. And with that, there are some benefits that come with it. So I'm very grateful that I've been part of this growth also of the PBA.
Para sa iyo, Com Willie, ano ba ang pinakamagandang, kasi ikaw, marami kang naging karanasan. Ano ba ang pinakamagandang parte ng pagiging PBA commissioner? At ano naman yung pinakamahirap?
Ang dami nito, magaganda at pinakamahirap. Magaganda, pag after the game, magkakasama tayo, lalos out of town, socialization with the referees, with the table, relax. Two, sa maganda rin mga umakit na kasi ako sa lower box, minsan sa upper, sa mga fans. So nakakausap ko sila, nakakapagbiruan ako sa kanila kung ano, sasabihin lang, tama ba yung tawag na yon? Yun, magsisimula na kami ng dialogue. So masaya at nakakasama mo. At yung board, pag nagbo-board meeting tayo, seryoso, di ba? Yung sa inyo, ngayon, ang gulo na namin. Ang saya na ng board. So solid. At pinaka maganda ngayon, doon sa masaya ngayon, sa nangyari tong araw na to, na nagkasama-sama kayong apat. Totoo yun. Sasabihin ko sa mga nanonood, sa nakikinig, itong apat na to, nagbibigay ng advice sa akin, advices, pag humihingi ako sa iba't ibang isyo. Totoo naman. Huwag niyo itanggi, kayong apat. Ito ang advantage ko, sila ang nakukonsultahan ko at anong gagawin mo? At pangalawa, nung advantage ko dahil nakakausap kayo, nung kayo mga commissioner, hindi kayo nag-uusap-usap eh. Ang susuplado niyo sa isa't isa. Ngayon, solid. Kaya natutuwa na ako, solid na yung governors, solid pa mga commissioner, kaya titibay itong PBA.
Well, actually, talagang napakaganda na itong nangyari sa atin na nakapagsama-sama. Konting na naman nakakarinig eh. Kami po ngayon, meron na kami Viber group, kami 5. Can you imagine? Tom Sani, I want to ask you, kasi, we are called upon to make decisions. Di ba? Ang dami nating desisyon, trades, suspensions, fines, agreements. And sometimes, kailangan mabilis ang desisyon, di ba? How big a part of your decision-making ang tradisyon, and at the same time, how big a part naman is consultation? In other words, ang PBA runs by tradition. Talagang ang daming pinagbabasihan natin is based on tradition. Ang karamihan ng mga rules natin and decisions are not naman manualized. Di ba? So a lot of it comes from tradition. How big does tradition and consultation come pagdating sa pag-decision making mo, Comsani?
Well, we start with what are the rules, no? And then you apply precedents if they are applicable, and tradition, as you point out. Pero nag-uumpisa dun sa existing rules and regulations. Kasi normally, pag merong kontrobersya, meaning to say, may decision ka na nirereklamo o hindi nag-a-agree ang team, ang pagpupuntahan ninyo yung rules and regulations no? So, let's say, prinotesta yung isang decision ko, and then sasabihin ko kung ano yung pinagbasihan ng decision ko. Pag naintindihan ng team, mas natatanggap nila. Kahit na nakakasakit sa kanila, so to speak, yung decision natin, mas na-accept nila dahil alam nila may pinagbasihan at may pinanggalingan na rules and regulations yung ating decision.
Okay. Merong mga nagsasabi na tao rin naman tayo. We have our own, yung mga kinagigiliwan natin, mga player, mga teams, no? How difficult is it to separate yourself as a fan of basketball and as a commissioner of the game nung panahon ninyo? Kasi tayong lahat lumaki sa basketball eh. So meron tayo talagang pagmamahal sa laro and nai-excite din tayo. So Chito, Salud, how difficult was it from your time, during your time na ikaw fan ka lamang, ngayon ikaw na yung nandun and you have to come up with this poker face all the time?
Very difficult because, of course, you're a fan first and foremost. No? You enjoy the games, you enjoy the players, and siyempre tagahanga ka dun sa mga ginagawa nila. But of course, pag nagkakamali sila, you have to be able to explain to them what wrong they committed. No? And that's the beauty of the position. You are in a situation where you're able to impart values, no? And make sure that not only the player and the teams, but also the public gets the message that you're trying to send, which is hard work, being fair, and playing the game on its merits.
Alam ko that we've had so many bouts with very difficult decisions. Chito Narvasa, what was the hardest decision that you ever made? Naalala mo?
Yung trade. Yung trade. Yung trade. You know, always when you make a trade, it's very, very difficult. Kasi, you know, sometimes there are things that you cannot share with the public. Diba? There are some things that are there that you can only, it has to be discussed only with the board, within the board, for them to be able to understand. And there are only some things that you can impart with the public. Diba? And you just have to respect that. That's just what it is. Right? And like you said, going back, you just have to make sure that one, it's really based on what the rules are. Second, you really believe that it is the right thing to do. Yun lang. I think you should be guided, especially with what I've heard from all of you that Commissioner Leo Preto has passed down. You have to be truthful to yourself. You have to be based really on what you believe is really correct. And it has to be explained fully to the board. Whether they accept it or not, that's already the decision. Diba? You just have to respect also the consequence. That's what's going to happen. Ganun lang talaga yun eh. That's the hardest thing that we have to do. And to me, that was my experience.
Well, alam natin, lahat tayo dumaan doon sa panahon na napakahirap mag-decide on a trade. But let me ask you, Komsani, what was your biggest consideration pagdating sa trade? And what was your, aside from a trade, meron pa bang mas mahirap pa na desisyon na ginawa ka noong panahon mo?
Meron akong desisyon na nag-umpisa ang reklamo from the team manager, umakyat sa governor, umakyat sa presidente ng kumpanya, at umakyat sa team owner. No? Meron akong desisyon noon na from team manager Rene Pardo to President Butch Alejo, and then to team owners Ambassador Danting Coangco and his brother Henry Coangco. So, yung sinasabi natin dito sa usapan natin, importante maipaliwanag mo at ma-message mo na yung decision mo, bagamat nakakasakit sa kanila, sa kanilang koponan, in your heart and in your mind, yun ang tamang desisyon. At I cannot forget what at the end of our conversation, sabi ni Ambassador Danding, basketball lang yan, Commissioner, hindi natin pag-aawayan yan.
Well, ito naman, very passionate yung mga nabanggit mo mga tao. Talaga naman, that is part of the passion for the sport. Kaya naman, very involved. Chito, were there any decisions during your term, Tito Salud, na I would say you regretted or you wish you could have changed? Meron bang ganon nangyari sa panahon mo?
I wish I had pushed more for, at the time, no, when we were going for, when we were heavily involved in the international basketball stage. You know? That was a time when, I remember, Nolly, you formed a team, Gilas, that was independent of the PBA. Remember that?
That's right, that's right.
Okay. So I saw that, no, because when I came in 2010, walang PBA player na involved dun sa Gilas team mo that was composed of sila Chris Chu ba yan? And sila
Chris Chu,
Huh?
Casio.
Casio, and that was coached by a foreign national, si
Toroman.
Toroman.
That's
And
right.
that team was really doing well, no, for a year or 2 years yata, or maybe 3 years, until they came to the PBA and they said they wanted a couple of players, no. at that time, may dilemma talaga, no? And I guess it's still a dilemma right now whether to lend players or not to lend players and allow the national team to form its own team and give it all the support, no? But since that time, pumayag na ang board magpahiram, I wish I could have pushed for more players para mas maganda pa yung performance natin sa international. We reached the World Cup. We won a couple of games there in Spain. But I thought, siguro kung mas marami tayong players na napahiram at the time, baka nanalo pa tayo ng one more game, making it 3 out of the 5 or 6 games that we played. But my point now is that debate is still ongoing. It's really a fine balance. No? We have to support the national team. We have to we have to allow it to form the best team possible from the rookies, no? From the new players that we have, and then maybe support it at the tail end of its development with 2 or 3 or maybe 4 PBA players, but not majority PBA players.
Well, I think maybe we can take off from that point because sabi mo nga, Chito, I had my own share in that. Ako,
Yes, you started that, Noli.
and again, I don't want to take credit for that. Of course, Mr. Pangilinan, during the times SPP had a big hand in it. I took the model of Ambassador Coangco and Ambassador Danding with the NCC, which at that time was supported by your father, Commissioner Rudy. No? So I really believe in a dedicated national team. Up to now, naniniwala ako sa ganyan. And I really think that the SPP is doing a great job in coming up with its own pool. But let me ask siguro, Tom Willie, kung ano ba ang positioning ngayon ng PBA with respect to that? Ang relationship ng PBA sa SBP. Are you totally looking at, siguro pwede nang pabayaan ng SBP at sundot-sundot na lamang ang mga players ng PBA? Ano ba ang positioning ng PBA?
Sa PBA, mga governors fully support yung SBP, yung Gilas. Kung ano sasabihin sa amin ng SBP, ganun pa rin kami. Kung kailangan nila ng players, kung ilang players ang kailangan nila, ganun kasuporta ang governors at mga team owners ngayon. Ngayon, yun nga, katulad na sinabi ko kanina, solid na yung governors. So, hindi na mahirap para kung anong gusto ng SBP. 100% pa rin suporta ang PBA sa Gilas at sa SBP.
Chito Nervasa, do you think there is the right track or do you agree na siguro dapat magkaroon ng dedicated national team outside of the PBA?
Well, I think the board knows best, no, with SBP, their programs, no, because they're in constant discussion. So, but it would be right also, I think, to me, no, there should be a program already dedicated to a national team, and then talagang in line also with the programs of the PBA. So, I'm sure they're on the right track already. The development programs of our players. Nag-uumpisa naman yan from college, eh. And ang maganda niyan, if they start from the college ranks, they already program parang a employment program for the players, deserving players up to the PBA and up to the retirement. So tulong-tulong yan. Can you imagine you have the biggest 12 companies in the Philippines doing that program from them? It's very hard for them to fail. They just have to come out with that program.
Alam mo kasi, Coach Commissioner Sani and I are in a unique position na pareho kaming nasa PBA at nahawakan namin ang SBP. And when we look at it, Tom Sani, ako personally, it's so hard to balance it. Kasi ang PBA, alam naman natin yan mga commissioner, no, na we are for entertainment.
Yes.
We are to entertain the public. Of course, there is very balanced competition na kailangan natin. On the national team side, dapat competitive, dapat focus lang sa international tournaments, no? So, Kamsani, how do you think will we reach this balance na hindi na di-disrupt yung PBA calendar? Because that is for entertainment, you know? And at the same time, the PBA can serve a focused program, develop a strong national team na nandun yung best players natin sa ating bansa.
Very good question.
Yung balance ang talagang issue kong Noli, no? Ngayon may program director ang SBP, si Tad Baldwin, na he is tasked to craft the program leading to the 2023 FIBA World Cup, which we will host here in our country. No? So, sa totoo lang, hindi ko nag-umpisa pa lang siya, no? Dahil na ano ng pandemic yung kanyang crafting of the program. So hindi ko pa masasabi exactly paano yung approach niya. No? Having said that, yun namang sa PBA, we're very thankful, sa SPP, we're very thankful yung sinasabi nga ni Kong Willie na all-out support ng PBA in terms of allowing their players to be part of the national team. Ang nagiging issue parati naman when it comes to involvement of the PBA player, and this is the dilemma of the coach, no? Kung Chito Narvasa, being a coach, would very much relate to this. Kailan i-release sa coach yung PBA player? Yun parate, every time na naghahanda po tayo sa tournament, yun parate. Oo nga, may PBA, pero kailan? Kung i-release lamang ng 10 days before the start, 2 weeks before the start, ayan, maybe we should ask Chito Narvasa as a coach, sapat ba yun para maging handa ang ating team? Yun ang nagiging issue.
Perennial problem. Chito, your thoughts on the balance between the PBA and the SBP?
You know, I think, we discussed this already one time with when I was commissioner. Willie was there with the board. Probably sabi natin, if the board will set up already, kunyari, a additional player na we will lend already to the national team, no? Na parang part of the team members ng players ng roster, but dedicated muna to the national team for a number of years. Then the national team will be assisted also by the PBA, and then all the players who've been drafted already to the PBA, parang on assignment nasa national team natin. So ang SBP now can select from the 12 teams kung sino yung gagamitin nila for the whole tournament. And then maliwanag din sa coaches at saka sa teams kung sino ang pwede lang gamitin for a duration of the tournament for the 3 conferences. So maliwanag yung paggamit ng isang player.
Mukhang yun ang concept ng pool na ginagawa ng PBA at saka ng PBA, no? But again, it's I guess my point is, looking at wearing the hat of a commissioner is nadi-disrupt pa rin ng PBA, di ba? Kahit pa paano. And kahit sabihin natin, it really affects the commercial viability dahil nawawala yung player, no? So,
it will not. It will not. Kasi from the very start, it is understood. Let's say, a person like Parks, no, who was a member of that, or anybody else like kay Rosario, na nandyan. From the very start, na draft na yan, alam na ng PBA na gagamitin yan, on call siya at any time by the SBP.
yeah.
So ngayon, the coach now will realize that. So alam niya na from the very start, alam niya kung paplano yung paggamit kay Parks for the whole year. Diba? So hindi na siya gagamitin. Let's say, kunwari, meron siyang first 5, second 5, Parks will come in only as parang substitute or something to those when he's available. Diba? But ang kanyang muna will be assigned sa SBP. Yun ang priority niya. Ngayon, but that only has an extension, let's say, of a term of up to 3 years. Pag alam nila 3 years, si Parks now will become full-time na doon sa team may magsa-substitute na naman another one. So umiikot yan. Kasi may magre-retire naman eh. Pag may nag-retire, full-time na si Park after serving Philippine team. So, di ba? Then that's when his full-time concentration on the team will come through. Yung bago naman na kukunin, sabihin natin kukunin nila si Ravena naman ngayon, na bago. Alam nila, dahil yun na yan, pero naka-assign yan sa SVP.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
tuloy-tuloy na lang yung ganon. I don't know if that's workable, but to me, I think that would be a good collaboration between SVP and the PBA.
Chito Salud, you have something to say about that before we take up that?
Yes. Our problem has always been in the international arena, no, is the chemistry and the continuity of our team. No, they have to be exposed to international play as a team, a core of 8 to 10 players. Nung time natin, there was only one window, no, a year, August yan, kaya nakakapagpahiram tayo ng players. But right now, starting during the term Chito, Nervasa, I think it's tatlo, apat na
Apat.
competition
Oh.
with Willie now, no, apat na windows a year. So, yung national team will need the entire team to play year-long.
Year round. Yes.
Year-round, no? And the more disruption you have for the PBA, if the PBA's contribution is more than the majority of the players. So the gold standard remains, you have 8 to 10 players, independent, Gilas formed, Gilas selected, the PBA's cooperation is let them choose the finest players in the land from the young ranks, and not from the PBA, because in 5 years, as we have seen from your program, Nolly, and from the program of Ambassador Danding back in the day, in 5 years time, star players na lahat yun eh. Lalo na kung top players talaga yung nakukuha. That way, you avoid the disruption in the PBA. PBA gets to lend them 3, 4 players if they desire. And then you have a team that continues to have chemistry year-long.
Well, mukhang yan ang ginagawa ni Comsani, the SPP.
Correct. And I'm glad we're headed toward that direction.
Oh, and then, of course, Willie has been supporting the PBA programs ng pagpapahiram even ng kanilang mga coaches. All right, we'll take a very quick break ulit sa aming pagbabalik. Some of the current issues as well, and a little bit of ano ba ang funniest moments, mga naaalala ng mga commissioner during their term. Sa pagbabalik po ng Power and Play, hatid sa inyo ng Big Boss Cement at ng Cherry Go. Nagbabalik po ang Power and Play. Hatid sa inyo ng Big Boss Cement at Cherry Loom. Sa ating mga nakikinig sa Radyo 5 92.3 at mga nanonood sa Signal TV, magandang po sa inyo lahat. Kasama natin pa rin ang ating mga commissioners ng PBA, Commissioner Sonny Barrios, Commissioner Chito Salud, Commissioner Chito Narvasa, and Commissioner Willie Marshall. Gentlemen, let me ask you lang, just before we go into some questions from the public, ano ba ang pinaka-naalala niyo mga fun moments niyo as commissioner na hindi basketball related, not game related? Some of the experiences that you've had na masaya at things that you remember. Maybe I'll start with you, Commissioner Sonny.
Yung nakakatawa o masaya. Alam naman natin, pag nag-commissioner ka, yung public visibility mo malakas, ano? And therefore, biglang yung facial recognition mo malakas. Yung papasok ka sa restaurant, may mga nakangiti na sa'yo na hindi mo dati napapansin. So, minsan nagkakarga ako ng gasolina. Sabi sa akin nung gasoline boy, "Sir, pamilyar ang mukha ninyo sa akin. Napapanood ko kayo sa television, pero hindi ko humaano yung pangalan ninyo." Sabi kong gano'n, Piolo Pascual? Hindi, sir. Sabi gano'n, hindi, sir. Noli de Castro? Hindi rin, sir. Hindi rin. Sabi ko, basketball? Commissioner! Kayo si Commissioner Barrios, ano? Sabi ko, salamat. Kala ko pa ako, kakagat ka sa Piolo Pascual eh.
So, Chito, ikaw, anong mga natatandaan mo? Chito Salud.
Almost the same. Ganun din, no? They'll recognize you. Sasabihin nila, Commissioner, congratulations, you're doing a good job, Oy, thank you. Commissioner Noli Ayala, pakibati mo ako next time.
alam mo, ako may kwento ako pero ayoko na sabihin. Sige mo, nakatabi ko. Yung pala, siyempre, hoy, di ba, nakamusta ka, kumusta kayo, ganon. Yung pala, governor ng Leyte. Ito, kilala mo to. Si Governor, Ikot Pitilla, nakatabi ko sa plano, hindi ko na pala. Kala ko, nagtatrabaho lang sa Leyte. Commissioner Chito Narvasa, ikaw, sino ba ang ano ba mga nakakatuwang kwento mo?
Well, halos ganun din naman eh. Pero minsan sa akin, ang tawag sa akin, coach. Di ba? Pero ang pinakamaganda na alala ko is minsan pumunta kami sa Baguio ng tatay ko. No? Pumunta kami sa Baguio sa tatay ko doon sa hotel. Siyempre meron basket, di ba? May basket na gano'n. Meron recognition na gano'n. Sinabi niya gano'n. Nung nag-checking kami, kilala namin dalawa yan. So si Chief John, tsaka si Chief Justice, at tsaka si Commissioner. Coach, si Coach yan. Papunta kami ron. Pagdating namin doon sa may basket. Welcome, Chief Justice Chito Narvasa. Tatay ko.
Ayos.
Ako ngayon si Chief Justice. Doon ako tuwa. Dahil minsan hilong-hilo na sila kung sino yung coach no, sino yung commissioner, sino yung Chief Justice. So doon lang ako tuwa lang ako noon. Kaya doon, tinago ko yung card eh. Kasi parang ako dito sa Dad, tira mo hindi ako bugado pero naging Chief Justice ako. Doon lang ako masaya. Doon lang ako tuwa ako doon.
Ito si Com Willie, marami itong experience eh. Com, ikaw?
Yung pag nag-out of town tayo, di ba? So, pauwi na tayo Sunday, hinahabol natin yung game. Di ba? Na-delay kasi election. May tumatakbong senador doon na na-delay. So, nalilate na. Yung isang tao natin, ano ba yan? Lagi tayong nalilate. Dahil lang dyan, ganyan. Di lumipad na kami. Yung palang nasa harapan namin, yun yung tumatakbo senador, kaya kami na-late. So, lahat kami tahim. Kasi nagbigay siya ng calling card eh. Napahiya kami. Hindi na kami humimik. Buti lang hindi nanalo yung senador na yun.
We have had our many shares of funny moments at saka yung nakakatawa, of course, lang mga out-of-town games. But that's only part of the job. Of course, ang mas mahirap yung actual trabaho at yung mga intriga. Now, I want to bring up a Twitter question dito. na pinadala ni Chichi. And I guess we just have to be very honest with this because, again, this is about politics. And I want to ask the hard question now. The politics in the PBA. Marami nagsasabi na meron daw political blocks, meron mga pressure from voting blocks. Can we bring up the question mula kay Chichi from our producer Gab, para makita ng mga commissioner? Alright, and then, that's the question. Ang tanong nila is, gaano po katindi ang politics sa PBA? May example ba? Honest answer only. By the way, pwede ba ma-fine ang commissioner pag nagsabi ng totoo? Okay. So, is there politics in the PBA? Let me go straight to the point and I'll begin with you, Chito Salud.
I'm sorry. What's the question, Nolly? I'm sorry.
Ulitin natin. Nakita mo, yan. Gaano po katindi ang politics sa PBA? May example po ba? Yan ang tanong ni What's Up Chichi.
Politics. Well, the board is composed of the representatives of the owners. So you have one block, that's the San Miguel group, and you have another block, that's the MVP group, and then the other individual team members. Of course, when it comes to voting, that block will always have an advantage if they so wish to pursue a particular issue. My sense really is that's a natural outcome of having more than one team in the PBA. So politics-wise, it's just a numbers game. But in terms of looking at the interest of the PBA, I don't see much politics in that. It's either you're for or against a particular issue, and that's all thrashed out in the board meeting.
That's a very interesting statement kasi it's always been like that. Even for me, it was always an issue per issue basis. But Commissioner Chito, Narvata, do you think that you have ever been swayed napipressure tayo with respect to these so-called political blocks in the PBA?
No, you cannot di ba? Because your mandate is you have to be independent. Pero always like what Commissioner Salud said, really yes, there are blocks there, and they express their interests. But that is expressed also and shared with everybody in the board. So at the end of the day, it's the board really that decides on any issue, and it's also on any issue talaga. Among themselves, I do not know if they talk among themselves, di ba? Because I do not see that. What we see is what is expressed during the board meeting. And then afterwards, that's when they vote on any issue. So if according to ask me, there will be efforts to talk to you and express certain concerns, di ba? But then everything will be presented to the board, and then that's where everything is discussed.
Comsani, do you have anything to add dun sa issue na politika?
Well, kailangan talaga matatagang commissioner as we had earlier expressed in this sharing para nang sa ganun kung tatanungin ng commissioner ng kanyang posisyon maibibigay niya at mapapangatawanan niya. Obviously, dahil nga may mga blocks, may individual interest, hindi mawawala yung so-called politics. Pero tama si Kong Chito Salud and Kong Chito Narvasa, pare-pareho naman kayo, commissioner at yung board, ang gusto kung ano ikabubuti ng PBA.
Okay, Willie, sabi mo nga ngayon, very solid na board. Hindi mo na nararamdaman ito?
Yun nga, nung sa atin, nung panahon yung 4, yun, may mga ganun-ganun. Ngayon, mga boss, sa akin hindi na solid na, wala nang San Miguel, MVP group o independent group, nagsama-sama. Hindi na nga nagbobotohan Ang kagandahan na ginagawa ni chairman ngayon, kinakausap mo na lahat, ano pananaw nyo, ano ganyan. Tapos isang solid, wala nang botohan. Talagang honest, hindi ako nang bobola, solid na yung yung governors. Kaya ang laking kaginhawa sa akin. Ang laking tulong sa akin na hindi katulad yun, uy, ito. Diba? Ngayon, mas nakakagaan sa commissioner pag ganito ang mga governors ko.
Okay. Pasok pa natin isang question dyan. Meron pang nagtanong dito from Twitter. Gab, ano pa tayong ilalabas lang ng tanong, ha? Merong isang tanong na, yan. Okay. From Christopher Manuel. At, ano po ba ang ranking ng mga commissioners sa total fines na nabigay nila sa kanilang tenure in pesos po? Wala ko po lang po si Kumin Orbasa ang pinakamababa. Total fines. Noong panahon ba natin, did you consider these fines as, mahirap ipataw sa mga player? Kompito, Narbasa?
Yeah, mahirap talaga. Kasi, nung kami, dahil ko tinatanong yan ito ba, ano bang fine nito? Ano bang fine nito? Kasi, di ba, every time that we do that, I always ask for the history o kung meron na tayo na fine. Hindi basta tayo ng fine. Tsaka ano yung ranges ng fine. Ganun yun I will always ask, you have to look at the history. Kung meron na fine na ganun. Kasi ayoko mag-umpisa Kasi mahirap kasi pag bago, di ba? You have to find out At saka, it's historical. You have to have a basis for any kind of fine, di ba? So, basta ako, kung ano yung nakalagay doon sa fine mo. Kasi nagawa na Di ba? At tapos, ang sinasabi lagi, you can reduce the fine. Yes, okay. So what we do is, you fine him for that, and then talk to him. And then wait for the explanation. Kasi yun ang muna di ba? And then upon conversation and explanation, you have the authority now to reduce the fine. Which we always do if we find out there is a appropriate explanation to his actions. So then, kung may merit yun, baba yung fine. Minsan, fino-forgo natin yung fine Hindi na sinasabi yun. Ang nilalagay na fine.
Okay.
Ito,
Let me go to a very sensitive topic, and this is about the independence of the Office of the PBA Commissioner. Alam naman natin, Com Chito Salud, Com Sani, during the earlier times, and ito nabanggit din sa akin ng Commissioner Leo Prieto too, that, running the league was talagang within the purview of the jurisdiction ng Commissioner. And you also told me na dapat ang Commissioner na nagpapatakbo, and you make the big decision, you make the decisions for the league. Of course, you consult and you tell the board kung ano ang mga gagawin mo in your plan. No? How do you think the office of the commissioner is strengthened in terms of its independence? Kasi slowly nakikita ko, and I've heard it in the statement now, na lahat yan sa board. I don't really believe that everything is with the board dahil lahat ng members ng board are conflicted. So in terms of making decisions for the league, it has to be the commissioner. So how do you think can we make the office of the commissioner stronger in terms of its independence? I'll start with you, Kamsani.
Well, up to my time, again, I'll go back kung ano yung nasa PBA Constitution and Bylaws at saka nasa playing rules, Kaya, for example, yung so-called independence ng commissioner, kapag ang decision mo ay tungkol sa playing rules, absolute yun Hindi kayang i-overturn ng board yun So kung yun nandyan pa, I cannot speak for the current one, Kasi baka may mga pinalitan na. Kung nandun pa rin yun, that speaks a lot regarding the independence of the commissioner. In my time kasi, for example, like I said, may na-protesta ako sa board sa isa kong desisyon na nung naipaliwanag ko na mga mahal kong governor, ito po nasa otoridad po ng commissioner ko, at hindi ho ninyo, with all due respect, hindi ho ninyo kayang i-overturn ito kasi tungkol ho sa laro ito, sa playing rules. naintindihan naman nila, no? Of course, hindi exactly masaya yung nagprotesta, pero nakita niya na mukhang hindi ko kayang i-overturn yung decision ng commissioner dito sa kasong ito. So,
Chito Salud.
Well, that's the job, Nolly. You know that. We all know that. That's the essence of the job. You come in to run the league independently. You come in to apply the rules equally to everybody. And that's the reason why they hired a commissioner to do that for the members. Otherwise, there will be a conflict of interest. No? Each one will have a vested interest, no? Each member team. And that's why you have a commissioner to run the league. And that's also the reason why the Constitution provides that his decision there is only appealable to the board, and it's very strict. No? I think, if I remember correctly, 3/4 to overturn all his decisions when it comes to the rules of the game and how the game has been played. So I think it's a perfect situation. The board has to trust the commissioner. The commissioner has to earn the trust of the board over the long run, and that's how it should be done.
Well, I'm glad, although kung Willie na ngayon, sabi mo nga, kahit papano, there is now harmony and therefore, you're able, and then may term ka na. Because that's the other issue there. Yung term ng commissioner, nung panahon namin, walang term. So
Yearly yun, Oli. Yearly.
Nakakatakot pag-desisyon eh. Kasi pag nag-desisyon ka, tapos hindi nila nagustuhan, then, that was something that was hanging above your head, So, at least now, Comili, you have the term na pwede mong gamitin to exercise that independence. Tama ba yun, Comili?
Tama. Kaya nga ginawa nila yun, Com. Kasi mahirap pag-desisyon. Kasi pag nagkamali desisyon mo, may boto sila, bukas wala ka na. So ngayon, midterm, kung may mali ka naman talagang, wag ka lang talagang grabe yung ginawa mo. At yun nga, Com, tama kayo. Pag polisiya, board. Polisiya. Pero pagdating sa operation, sa game, commissioner.
Alright. Alam mo, ang dami pang tanong, nating ipasok dito, but medyo nauubusan tayo ng oras. Let me just, before we end, a quick advice, dahil alam natin, magsisimula na uli ang PBA. Pero itong COVID situation natin ay nakakaantala. Any advice to Com Willie na para sa pag-restart ng PBA, what can be done here para sa mga players? Com Chito, Narvaca?
Well, I think they're taking all the necessary precautions naman eh. So I'm sure they studied that already. So I will really pray talaga sa kanila and wish them all the best. Kasi miss ko na rin ang PBA.
No.
I want them to be able to succeed and then really continue. Sana walang magkasakit ni maski sino, especially doon sa support staff man lang. No? So para tuloy-tuloy naman. I guess everybody misses the PBA. Atin yan eh. Mahal natin yan.
Well, I think we all echo your concern para sa PBA. We hope certainly na makabalik ang PBA. Before we end, I guess the final question I want to ask is, would you do it all over again? Would you want to become commissioner all over again? At if you do, would there be any changes na nagawa na ninyo in the past? Sani, I'll start with you.
Would I do it all over again? Yeah. Kasi yung benepisyo, yung na-involve ka sa isang organisasyon na nakakapagbigay ng kasiyahan. You give joy to millions, I'd like to think, not just thousands, millions of basketball fans. You're part of an organization that gives employment to many families, not just the players, just the team. It's very heartwarming, as opposed to the cons, so to speak, the stress, what Chito Salud mentioned, emotionally, psychologically, intellectually, stress. And if I may add, in my case, for example, where I spent 20 plus years in the PBA, no, not just being commissioner. I think the biggest price I paid was time away from my family. It was such a big relief when I retired in 2002, and I was able to spend a lot of time with my family.
Conchito, would you do it again?
If I were younger, yes, in a heartbeat.
Conchito Narvasa.
Yes, also. I think, in a way, talaga, it's heartwarming to be able to see talaga the fans when they're smiling. Iba yung contribution mo eh. Diba? But I'm just very thankful I was a part of it. I experienced it.
Of course, Tom Willie, you are there, pero kung ikaw ay bibigyan uli ng pagkakataon mag-compete in another capacity, would you still do it?
Kung ganito, solid na ulit kayo mga commissioners, solid yung governors, bakit hindi? Kasi ang laking tulong talaga, honest, ang laking tulong nyo, nagkasama-sama kayo, at ang laking tulong nyo sa akin. Kaya nagpapasalamat ako sa inyo, mga boss ko.
Well, alam nyo mga kaibigan, ako, if I had an opportunity to do it all over again, kung ang aking makakasama doon lamang sa opisina ng commissioner ay si Tom Sani, si Tom Tito Salud, at si Tom Tito Narvasa, at si Tom Willie, I would do it again.
Thank you, Nolly. Thank you, Nolly.
And I thank you all for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
No, Nolly, congratulations. I think ikaw nakapagbuo sa amin lahat. It's through your effort. And you are to be, really, this is your effort.
Well,
No?
maraming salamat. Kung hindi dahil sa inyo, hindi mabubuo to. Again, maraming salamat kung Sunny Barrios, Commissioner Tito Salud, Commissioner Tito Narvasa, and Commissioner Willie Marcial. Mabuhay ang PBA and sana magsama-sama tayo ulit muli. At mga
Thank you.
maraming po salamat sa inyong pagsama sa amin ngayong araw po ito sa isang special na pagtatanghal ng Power and Play. Tandaan nyo lagi sinasabi namin tuwing Sabado, bawal ang masungit. At sa lahat po ng aking gawain at Glory Dei Gloriam. All for the greater glory of God.
Of God.
Happy Sports Weekend, mga kapatid.
Yo.